All right, now that we have seen how to set up Power Automate Flow, now we're going to set up Power Automate Desktop. Power Automate Desktop, we have to install it on our computer, so the process is a little bit longer than just setting up an online account. Now, Power Automate Desktop, I do have a little preference for Power Automate Desktop, but that is just my feeling. All right, to set up Power Automate Desktop, we log into Power Automate Flow. From the home page, we click on My Flows, and here we have two things to install. We can install Power Automate Desktop and on-premise data gateway. Now let's click on both of these and let's install both of these. Once I click on the icon, the installation is brought up downstairs, and now I will do the same for the on-premise gateway. What is the on-premise gateway? The on-premise gateway will help us connect Power Automate Flow and Power Automate Desktop. There is other ways of connecting them, not with the gateway, but we will see those later on in the videos. Right now we are going to set up the gateway and set up Microsoft Power Automate so that we can communicate with Flow and so that we can have all of our environment ready and set up and ready to go. Once Microsoft Power Automate Desktop has finished installing, we will click onto it and launch the installation file. The installation file is pretty straightforward. We can just click next and agree to the Microsoft terms and click install. The current version, I already have the existing current version, therefore I will not be installing this, but once you click install, this will install it on your computer and you should have access to Microsoft Power Automate Desktop. That will look something like that. Always make sure that you are always up to date inside of your Power Automate and see what version you are running. Now that is for the installation of Microsoft Power Automate. Obviously, once you launch Microsoft Power Automate, it will ask you to log in inside of your Power Automate. Use the same credentials that you have used with Microsoft Power Automate Flow. So the same credentials you will use in Microsoft Power Automate Flow and Desktop. Now after that, the next thing that we have to do is set up the data gateway. Now I have double clicked on the installation file. This is also a pretty straightforward process. Now in this case I will update the on-premise data gateway and I will show you a walkthrough of what is required. Once the data gateway is all ready and has been installed, we'll have the ability to log inside of our data gateway. Now I will use the same credentials that I have used with Power Automate Flow. Once you have logged inside of the data gateway, you will see different configuration for your data gateway. Everything should be configured right out of the box, and now with the data gateway connected, now you can connect Power Automate Flow and Power Automate Desktop. So let's check if our gateway has been correctly installed or not. So let's create a quick flow from an instant cloud flow. This is just going to be a test. No need to worry too much about this process. We're going to see everything in detail. We're just checking to see if cloud and flow, desktop and cloud can communicate right now. So we're going to add an action that is going to run a flow from Power Automate Desktop. Let's select that, and you will probably have the ability here to create a new connection. So I already have a connection, but in your case you would select on-premise data gateway. You would put in the data gateway name that you are using. You would put in the domain and username. You could find those from your control panel. So you can go into the control panel and you can type in. So this would be your domain. So we can select this. We would put this right here and then we would insert the password to our account. Now that will connect to our data gateway, and I already have a connection. So I will connect to my data gateway and see if the connection is working. So the connection is working. Why? Because I can see all of the different desktop processes that I have. Now I can now select one of these desktop processes, and I can also choose to run it in an attended or unattended way. So Power Automate desktop has successfully been installed. We can go to Power Automate desktop once it has been installed. All of the plugins should be installed as well. Otherwise, if the plugins haven't been installed yet, we can install them simply by going to Power Automate. We can go to the Power Automate plugins, and we can find them in the different stores for Mozilla, for Google, for Edge as well. So those are all of the requirements that we need to get Power Automate desktop flow configured, ready to rock and roll and build some really cool automations. Let's kick things off right away.